You're watching CSN, presented by State Farm.
Subscribe to the Cubs Talk podcast on iTunes or the Google Play Store today.
The first thing that must be known is under no circumstances am I going to coach here, and so that should not even be a question.
Not only that, but new Bulls senior advisor Doug Collins says he has full confidence in Garpax. This is In the Loop Prime, presented by GMC.
Sierra and Layla here, and those are just two of our list of the 5 things you need to know from Collins' introduction. Let's go to Huddle. Jake Arrieta threw a bullpen session today, and Arrieta says he will return to the mound on Thursday against the Brewers. The former NL Cy Young Award winner has been sidelined since September 4th because of a strained right hamstring.
The good thing is the arm strength is there. It's remained there. And I actually feel better for maybe having a little bit of time off, arm strength-wise. So we'll see how I feel in the morning, but I anticipate to feel just fine and be ready to get Thursday.
Joe Madden returned to Tampa Bay for the first time since leaving the Rays to coach the Cubs. Madden led the Rays to the 2008 World Series, where they lost to the Phillies. The skipper said pregame he looks forward to reliving some of those memories this week.
You look back at it, man, it's pretty special how it all came together at one time based on the history previous to that point. So I'm really proud of being part of that. I feel very fortunate to be part of that. So when I haven't been out in the field yet, when I go out there and look at the banners, I will think about everybody involved.
Kyle Schwarber got the scoring started for the Cubs, hitting a 446-foot bomb to right field off of Chris Archer in the second. It's his 28th home run of the season, making it 1-0. Wade Davis lights out in the ninth. He strikes out the side, converting his 32nd save of the season. The Cubs win their 7th in a row, 2-1 the final in Tampa.
So you know what that means. That win brought the Cubs' magic number down to 9 to clinch a playoff spot. All right, Domingo Santana and the Brew Crew in Pittsburgh to take on the Bucks. 4th inning, no score, Santana at bat. And the Brewers' right fielder drives a line shot down the left field line. It's gone. Santana's 26th homer of the year puts the Brewers up 1-0. 9th inning. Brewers closer Corey Knebel in to finish off the Pirates, and Knebel gets Jordy Mercer to strike out swinging. Brewers blank the Pirates, win by a final of 1-0.
That said, let's check in on the standings. The Brewers keep pace with the Cubs, but remain 4 games back in the win-loss column. So the Brewers right there are 3.5 back of the Cubs, Cardinals 6.5 back. Then you have the Pirates and the Reds rounding it out, as we will be scoreboard watching like crazy for the next 2 weeks. Speaking of the Pirates, it's National Talk Like a Pirate Day, so I'm with me mateys. we all just started to say R right away. Let's just get out of our system now. R. Okay, just me maybe, and our studio crew. So let's talk a little ahead of us now. Is Jake Arrieta your game 1 starter if he's healthy? Did we just see, maybe, thanks to Patrick Mooney also dropping this hint on CSNChicago.com, that Joe Madden is setting that up because we see Arrieta throw the bullpen today?
I've said this to David for a while, that if it was me, I'm starting Jake Arrieta because I think he's pitched the best in the second half. John Lester's big game pitcher. He hasn't been great yet, but Arrieta's got to prove he's healthy.
We still got a couple starts, so we're going to see how
potentially
Lester goes.
3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Kyle's going to have a couple starts. John Lester, I want to see John Lester sharpen his stuff up. He needs to get that cutter back working, and he himself will tell you that he needs to get better, but you can't go wrong with any of these 3, that's for sure.
Let me ask you this, though. Why, when we saw Lester be so effective last year, starting game 1 in all of the playoff series, would that change this year?
He hasn't been great since he had to take the break with the fatigued shoulder. The velocity's been good, 92, 93. He has not commanded his fastball to me. The cutter hasn't had that sharp bite that we normally see. He's got 3 starts left. They got to be good ones.
Exactly. You're exactly right. He needs to show that he is starting to clean things up. He's got to be able to put stuff where he needs to put it to set up other pitches. So that's the thing. He hasn't been able to do that so far these last couple of starts. He still has 3 more to get better.
All right, let's talk some more hypotheticals. So Max Scherzer, likely the Nats game 1 starter, pitched 7 innings of 2-run ball tonight against the Braves. We saw the Cubs scratch across 2 against Chris Archer. All right, are you guys confident they can do enough to beat Scherzer in the postseason?
Look, they had a game with him last year where they hit 4 home runs off him. Max Scherzer's great. I mean, he's legit. He's the real deal. But this offense they beat Kershaw 6-0 to go to the World Series.
Sure.
They can beat anybody they face.
Yeah, you never know. Scherzer might leave stuff over the middle. The Cubs hitters have to just grind. The way their at-bats have been this past weekend against the Cardinals, and
really good.
They've been grinding at-bats and getting that starter out of the game early to get to that bullpen.
Last night, Kershaw pitched pretty well for 6 innings. He made one mistake. Aaron Altier took him out for a grand slam and beat him 4-3. Who'd have thought the Phillies would beat Kershaw and the Dodgers? That's baseball.
Aaron Altier owns Kershaw.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so Cap, we saw you give us a list yesterday of your 5 best relievers out of the bullpen. So we're going to stay on that topic. Mike Montgomery, he took a no-hitter into the 6th, you guys. So are you still convinced he's best suited for the bullpen?
Yeah, he's not one of your top 4 starters right now. Probably not one of your top 5. Lackey's had a good second half. He really has. I know he's a hot button item for some people out there, like my friend Danny Zetterman, who likes to fire on him. But I will tell you that Lester, Arrieta, Quintana, Hendricks, Lackey, all are ahead of him in terms of being a starter right now on this team.
Guys, Wade Davis, another amazing outing for him, 32 for 32. The streak is incredible. Is there any concern about the use of his arm at this point, especially when we saw him in the last 3 games before the day off?
You know, there's some concern there, but he is getting stronger. You see, it's 97, 98, and he said himself, as the season goes on, my arm gets stronger. So I trust that Joe will use him right at the end towards the end of the season, because the playoffs is what you need to have.
These are big games. I mean,
yeah.
At some point, you ride your horse.
Well, and also, this is a guy who knows how to stretch himself out for a playoff run. I mean, he did this with the Royals.
Yeah.
He's got the experience. But at the same time, we all saw what happened last year with the use of the closer and how critical that became in the longest of all playoff runs.
No question about it.
So how do you balance that, knowing that
You got
that
to get
could
there
be a
first.
possibility?
Doesn't matter. You have to get there. If tomorrow night he tells you my arm feels okay and it's 2-1 going to the bottom of the 9th, you got to pitch your guy.
Especially if the Brewers are winning. You're looking at the scoreboard. The Brewers are winning. You can't be leaving games because he was just sitting down. When he said he can pitch, you got to be able to put him
If he
in there.
tells you give me the day off, you got to listen to him. You can't go, I'm throwing you out there. But if he says I'm ready to go, here you go, big boy, take the ball.
Exactly.
All right, Kyle Schwarber with his 28th home run tonight. Is he the guy you want with the game on the line in the playoffs? No, we know the Hollywood theatrics, okay, fairy tale kind of ending last season, but is he it?
He hasn't proven himself to be able to get that big hit, but he still has to finish this season out. He's getting hot right now. He's having a great September, and he's a big game player, so he can get that clutch hit. But right now, I would not want him up with the bases loaded shots. I want Anthony Rizzo or Chris Bryant, but he is slowly producing this last month.
Well, look, he's a 207 hitter for a reason. And I know it's not, batting average is not the be-all, end-all. He's still a 207 hitter. Yeah, the numbers don't lie. So, game on the line, my first choice is Riz. My second choice is Bryant. I'll take either one of them. There's some other guys I trust there as well, but Schwarber would not be in the first 2.
Guys, enough about offense. I saw your face light up when Kevin Kiermaier made that amazing catch to rob Addison Russell. Let's take another look at this, because everybody talks about how good of a place it is at the Trop to see a ball when you're hitting. What about when you're fielding? Because this is pretty amazing. David, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you grade that one?
I mean, he's made a lot better than that, but that's definitely an 8 or 9, because sprinting back, the ball's the same color as the top of the trop, and then being able to catch it and kind of brace himself before he hit the wall. This kid's a special player.
What rocket scientist built the stadium and decided to make the roof white?
I don't know. That's a Tampa person or a St. Pete person. Come on, man. That's a come on, man.
Oh, there's so many things we could say about that ballpark, but that is a very good point. It's not the easiest place to see a ball. What on earth could Kevin Kiermaier do someplace else with his home field? There's a thought.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. We're looking forward to looking ahead with you guys.
All right,
for
I'll
the
try
next
not to
couple
walk
weeks.
through your set either.
That's no fun.
You're welcome to walk through our set anytime you want, David Kaplan. You go for it.
Yeah, you guys both sprint. We don't care. Still to come on In the Loop Prime, the Blackhawks open the preseason by taking it to the Blue Jackets in Columbus.
I'm old. Let me finish. But I'm not old school. So I am woke.
I can't get over that. That is just one of the list of 5 things you need to hear from Doug Collins' introductory press conference today. Others include why he trusts Garpax and he thinks the Bulls can pull off a similar rebuild to the White Sox. Plus, John Paxson responds to all of the talk of a potential Dwayne Wade buyout. And he sits down with only us, CSN Chicago, to discuss. That is next.
In the Loop on CSN is presented to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
How do you show up? Do you just bring it? Or do you bring it all?
Focus.
Third row like a pro. Get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 GMC Acadia SLE1 for around $289 per month. Plus, current GMC lessees can get $3,000 additional lease cash. We are professional grade. GMC.
At Dietz & Watson, our family believes that the most important meal of the day is the one spent with the people you call family. It doesn't matter where it happens or when. All that matters is what you bring to the table. For over 75 years, our family has handcrafted premium meats and artisan cheeses that always come together in simple-to-prepare recipes. So it's just a little easier to choose the table together.
Are you afraid of getting out of debt? Are you stressed out but afraid to do anything? Filing bankruptcy is like going to the dentist. Most people wait and stress out, but feel better once they go. I am attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Bankruptcy, just like the dentist, can be painless. You won't know how good you'll feel being debt-free until you call.
When you need to be debt-free, call 1-800-CALL-PFG. That's 1-800-CALL-PFG.
Food, water, internet. We need it to live. But what we don't need are surprises, like extra monthly fees. I See You Fee, played by legendary actress Angelica Houston.
You got me, Mark.
We just want fast internet for one simple rate. For all the streaming and the shopping and the newsing, but most of all, for the this.
Internet for one everyday simple price and no extra monthly fees.
Right here, Dad.
The Infiniti QX60. Impressive performance and seating for 7. Lease the Infiniti QX60 for $399 a month or finance at 1.9% APR at your local Infiniti retailer.
The Blackhawks opening the preseason in Columbus without their top-line guys. They're getting a good look at Cody Franzen, the former Predator, trying to get a roster spot in Chicago on the power play. Gets the one-timer to go. 1-0 Hawks. Franzen added an assist later on. Vinny Hinostroza, good game on both ends of the ice. Dives here to force the puck out of the zone on the penalty kill. Then Anton Forsberg trying to win the backup goalie spot. He looked good. 38 saves on the night, including 12 on the penalty kill. Nick Schmaltz could be centering Patrick Kane's line this season. He splits a couple defenders, goes stick side for the goal. It's 4-0 Blackhawks. All right, back to Hinostroza. He's got some good stick work to get the puck back. And then what does he do? He lights the lamp. The Hawks score 4 times in the second period.
Hey.
They beat the Blue Jackets 5-2. All right. Are you the biggest Blackhawks fan you know? Well, come to Fatport tomorrow and tell us why you are the biggest fan of your favorite team for a chance to win Bulls and Blackhawks tickets. It doesn't matter what team you are a fan of. If you are a fan of a Chicago team, we want to hear from you.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win it! They win it! Set the Cleveland Cavaliers. Michael Jordan hits it at the foul line.
Oh, nearly 3 decades after the Bulls let him go, that man, Doug Collins, is back with the organization. The team announced today that Collins has been hired as a senior advisor of basketball operations, and he will report to John Paxson.
That brings us to tonight's list presented by State Farm, the 5 things you need to know from the Doug Collins press conference.
One of the things that we talked about when Jerry and Michael and I were together at the dinner the one night is the first thing that must be known is under no circumstances am I going to coach here, and so that should not even be a question.
All right, Layla, one of the first things that Collins stressed is that he is not Fred Hoiberg's replacement in waiting. Collins last coached the Philadelphia 76ers from 2010 to 2013 before stepping down to spend more time with his family. It made sense. He was getting older. And then just 2 years after Collins became head coach here in Chicago. He, well, almost became head coach here in Chicago.
I just think, Jerry at that point in time in 08, his big thing was, I love you like a son, I don't want to have to fire you. And I got it. I mean, because when you're a coach, that's part of the business. He said, I love you like a son. I don't want to get into that relationship again where things aren't going whatever, that I have to make a change. I care about you too much.
Interesting, he brings up his son as well because he coaches at Northwestern. So you heard Collins. He cited another reason why this role as a senior advisor is better for both sides than being on the sidelines.
So basically job security with a front office job.
Exactly.
One of the things I can't wait to be a part of is to watch this organization start to build brick by brick and start to become a really, really good team again. And one of the things I would like to share is I trust Gar and Pax a ton, with what they're going to do.
So hiring Collins gives fans some optimism after they've expressed their frustration with the front office. He mentioned who he trusted, and there's a big connection there, of course. Paxson played for Collins on the Bulls team that he coached in the late 1980s.
So maybe this ignites some optimism from the fans, or they have a renewed faith. If he believes in them, they should believe in them too.
Trust the Garpax.
Just look how quickly it changed with the Sox. I mean, how quickly did it change with the Sox? There was an article in the paper, the teams that were rebuilding. And, the Cubs had done it. Now you got the Bears, and you got the Sox, and you got the Bulls, and who's going to do it first and whatever. Rick Hahn makes 3 deals. They have the best young group of minor leagues. And now all of a sudden it's like, man, the Sox are going to be great.
Okay, so the White Sox have made all the right moves to set themselves up for success, but it has yet to come to fruition. We don't know if it's going to happen, but, Bulls fans can only hope that they will have a similar outlook 1 year from now, just like the White Sox, right?
Right. Right.
Not convinced.
I'm old. Let me finish. But I'm not old school.
Okay.
I got a young brain. And I think you get pigeonholed. That guy's old school because he's old. Now, if being on time and working hard and doing all those things are old school, then yes, I'm old school. But I will match my wits with anybody in terms of young people, in terms of what's going on now, what's happening. And so I am woke.
Man, I'd say that's really the mic drop moment here.
Right. Yeah, he stay woke. But I appreciate that he does know that lingo, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say the NBA players are pretty woke, so that takes care of it from a bigger standpoint, but nice to see him appreciating the lingo.
He's like, I'm cool, I'm hip, Dr. Evil.
Doctor.
Well, I appreciate, though, that he specified that, okay, if being on time, if working hard means that you're old, then I guess that we're old, too, right?
Yeah, totally. I was totally on time at work today.
All right. Where will Dwayne Wade play next season with the Bulls in full-blown retooling mode? Well, we really don't know. Right now, he's the primary face of the franchise heading into next season. The team could still potentially buy out D-Wade's 2-year, $47 million contract, of which he is owed about $24 million this upcoming season. Mark Janowski addressed the rumors with Bulls president John Paxson in an exclusive interview.
We can't do anything about it, and be very honest, Gar and I sat down with Dwayne when the season ended. We were honest with him. We told him that, we don't know what's going to happen. We weren't, at that time, we were not shopping Jimmy, but we also said that if a deal would come along that allowed us to rebuild, that we'd have to look at it. We've said that to everybody. So, but with that said, Dwayne's under contract. He has been a professional through and through. We want to talk to him when he comes in town, and we will. Until then, I read the same things you do. So, Gar and I will sit down with Dwayne when he comes to town.
So Kevin Durant admitted that he tweeted under a different account to criticize the Thunder and head coach Billy Donovan. What? Yeah, Mark Janowski and a couple of former NBA pros take the story from here.
I'm joined now by my partners on our Bulls pre- and post-game coverage, Kendall Gill and Will Perdue. We're ready to crank it up again. But first, we got to talk about some of the news around the NBA. How sensitive is Kevin Durant creating fake Twitter accounts to take on fans? You guys wouldn't have done that, would you?
Absolutely not. Listen, Kevin Durant, lions do not pay attention to the opinions of sheep. Say this to yourself 100 times before you go to bed at night. What is this, Mark? A grown man taking out.
Where do you get all this stuff from?
I read, man. I'm deep.
But
I'm real deep, especially after this summer.
Do you set aside time every day to read?
Yeah, I do. I got 2 kids, man. I got to.
But how do you do that and work out 3 times a day? I don't get it.
Oh, man, it's a long story.
But at the end of the day, it's so funny how guys totally flip.
Right.
Wasn't this the guy that, was criticizing people for switching teams? Then he switched teams, and now he's criticizing people through fake accounts.
Hey, he apologized, though, so it's all okay.
Oh, so that means it's okay? Come on.
The other guy making news in the NBA, Kyrie Irving, with his trade request. Now he's saying on national TV that it wasn't about LeBron. You guys buying that?
No.
No.
I mean, do you buy that?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Listen, I think that Kyrie Irving was tired of being second fiddle.
Yep.
He was tired of LeBron being the point guard when really Kyrie Irving is a point guard. He wants
took more shots than LeBron.
I know, but he still wants to dribble that basketball up and be the classic point guard.
Well, I think he feels like that he was the guy that when people talk about the year they won the championship, he wants to be known as, I was the guy that hit that shot.
He did.
He wants all the attention he's going to get in Boston, especially when they lose to the Cavs in the
Kendall
playoffs.
I think will back me up on this. Myself, Kendall, everybody that's ever played in the NBA has an ego. And regardless of who they are, Michael, KD, All-Stars, they still think they're better than they are. I felt like maybe my career could have been better. And I imagine Kyrie has unanswered questions, and the only way he can get those answered is by going and playing for another team away from LeBron James.
Doug Collins is coming back. He coached the Bulls from 1986 to 89. Now he's coming back as a senior advisor of basketball operations. How much of an impact can Doug have on this rebuild?
I think that Doug is going to try to do what Jerry West did in Memphis, what Jerry West did with the Golden State Warriors. He's going to have that input. Another three brains are better than 2. And as far as the Chicago fans are concerned, they're not really too happy with the way they're going.
They'll gladly bring on the third brain.
They want to bring on the third guy. So, and listen, I love God, I love Pax, but hey, adding Doug Collins to the team, I think, is a plus.
And the biggest thing was the statement that Jerry Reinsdorf put out, in my opinion. It said it's worked well with other teams. We think it'll work well with us. To me, that's sending a message that they're being very flexible on how they're handling this thing, and they're willing to take outside input.
Before we get out of here, I remember back in 1988-89, there was a raw rookie out of Vanderbilt named Will Perdue, coached by Doug Collins, jumping all over the court with the perm and everything. What's your favorite story about playing for Doug Collins that one season?
Just how emotional he was. And I personally feel kind of bad. I mean, Doug and I have talked about it, but there was all these rumors that, well, you didn't play the first draft pick, so you got fired. But they also forget that they traded for Bill Cartwright, and Dave Corzine was still there, proven veterans.
Right.
And you talked about Thibodeau, talked about other guys. I mean, it was hard for me to crack that rotation.
Yeah, I mean, veteran coaches don't really like playing rookies.
And so, but again, he's very passionate. I used to love how after games he'd take his jacket off to talk to us post-game.
Right.
He'd be drenched in sweat. But that's where I think when the players see how invested he is, I think that's only going to be a positive, especially for such a young team.
Well, we've seen him at Northwestern games drenched in sweat, watching Chris Collins and the Wildcats go to work. I think even as a senior advisor, he'll be drenched in sweat, watching the Bulls. It all starts next Monday with Media Day. We'll have live coverage from the Advocate Center here on CSN.
Thanks, guys. Coming up next, free tacos. Woo!
Doctor?
Doctor.
I played a doctor on TV, but now I'm helping save lives for real, starting with my own. I'm partnering with Cigna HealthSpring to remind everyone how important preventive care is for people my age. See anything, Doctor?
Looks great, Doctor.
And with Cigna HealthSpring Medicare Advantage, you get a team of doctors overseeing your health. Most preventive services are covered. So go, know, and take control of your health. Oh, use mine, Doctor.
Cigna HealthSpring. Together all the way.
When my hair gets too long, I lose my edge. But when my cut's right, I'm right. I'm back to being me. My dimples activate. My cleft chin becomes cleftier. I get a twinkle on my tooth. And I speak fluent French. Garbage. Chaise lounge. Mayonnaise.
Au revoir. Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Me da mucho orgullo estar aquí con los White Sox porque, I came here as a child with my father, and I just wanted to continue the tradition.
It's an awesome experience to bring your kids to something that you actually been coming here all your life. So es muy bonito venir todos unidos a tener un buen día.
Just spending time together, creating memories, y es algo que yo quiero, se lo quiero pasar a mis hijas, que disfruten como yo disfrutaba cuando tenía su edad.
To err is human. To anticipate is the Lexus RX. With pedestrian detection, auto braking, and lane departure alert, stand. Experience another step closer to a safer world.
Lease the 2017 RX 350 for $399 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
A restaurant in San Diego is giving away a free taco every time the Chargers lose. El Pollo Grill. Just ask for the Spanish or the Spanos taco.
All right, this has been In the Loop presented by GMC.
How do you show up? Do you just bring it? Or do you bring it all?
Focus.
Third row like a pro. Get this low mileage lease on this 2017 GMC Acadia SLE1 for around $289 per month. Plus, current GMC lessees can get $3,000 additional lease cash. We are professional grade. GMC.
Looking for better weather? The power of the NBC5 Weather Center in the palm of your hand. Live Doppler 5, Storm Ranger 5. When information is critical, the power of the NBC5 Storm Team is always on the NBC5 Chicago app.
Save up to 80%. The Jewelry Exchange has 2-carat Heart of the Sea pendants for $69, half-carat hoop earrings $299, 1-carat $499, tennis bracelets $399 per carat, and diamond studs are $599 per carat. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange Villa Park.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, and I've played baseball in the great city Chicago for 17 seasons. Back in the day, I had a lot of hair, and it got to the point where I didn't look like any of those pictures that the fans were bringing up to me. I didn't look like myself in the 80s and the 90s. Didn't know that there was any options. I just went into the office, took it easy. It was like just being at home and restored it all the work. the procedure that Restore does. Taking hair from the back, put it in the front, no pain whatsoever, and it's my own hair. I think having hair has totally regained my confidence. It gives me energy, makes me feel younger. Go to Restore, have a consultation, check it out for yourself. I'm Ryan Sandberg, and I chose Restore.
Call Restore today for your free consultation and get a $500 discount. It may be the first step that changes your life forever. Call 1-800-823-9239 or visit restorehair.com.
The perfect gift. 1 carat Forever Us rings are just $9.90. 1 carat 3-stone and halo rings $6.99. Diamond bands $99 to $3.99 per carat, and diamond studs are $5.99 per carat. Thousands of gifts guaranteed to appraise for double. The Jewelry Exchange Villa Park.
The first thing that must be known is under no circumstances am I going to coach here, and so that should not even be a question.
It is homecoming week as a familiar face returns to the Bulls, and Joe Madden touches down in Tampa. Layla and Sierra here. Welcome to In the Loop Prime, presented by State Farm.
And as the Bulls begin the rebuilding process, John Paxson weighs in on D. Wade's future with the franchise. But first, let's go no huddle. After scoring just 3 goals in a 4-game sweep to Nashville last year, the Blackhawks lit the lamp early and often in their preseason opener in Columbus tonight.
The Cubs got some good news ahead of their game tonight in Tampa. Jake Arrieta threw a bullpen session and says he's good to go Thursday against the Brewers. The former NL Cy Young Award winner has been sidelined since September 4th because of a strained right hamstring.
The good thing is the arm strength is there. It's remained there. And I actually feel better for maybe having a little bit of time off, arm strength-wise. So we'll see how I feel in the morning, but I anticipate to feel just fine and be ready to go Thursday. Probably, 75, 80 pitches and kind of building from there. So the idea is to be able to be out there the last game against Cincinnati pretty much at full pitch count and to be ready for the playoffs.
Ahead of tonight's game in Tampa, the Cubs had a special visitor in the dugout. Former Cub Alfonso Soriano brought his son to take in batting practice at the Trop. Gordon Wittenmeyer took the picture before the game. I like the hashtag Sories here. The GOAT? Strong words. So Joe Madden back in Tampa, and the Rays paid tribute with a video of his time with the team. He also saluted the fans. First inning, Kevin Kiermaier at second tries to steal third. Wilson Contreras throws him out to end the frame. No score in the second. Kyle Schwarber facing Chris Archer. He takes him deep to right. That is a solo home run that went a long way. 446 feet. That's number 28 for Schwarber. 1-0 Cubs. Mike Montgomery had a no-hitter through 5 innings, had 6 strikeouts in the game. More on that a little bit later. Top of the 5th with Addison Russell at first. Javi Baez hits a rocket to left field that bounces around in the corner. Russell races home. No throw, so 2-0 on the double by Baez. To the bottom of the 6th. Montgomery still with the no-no, but not anymore because of Brad Miller. He breaks it up with a solo shot to center, and the Rays cut the Cubs' lead to 2-1. But Mike Montgomery rebounds. Facing Steven Souza to end the 6th, gets him swinging. Souza actually got a piece of the ball. Contreras was able to cradle it between his arm and his chest protector. Ouch. Don't see that every day. Willie bringing a little something extra since his return from the DL. 7th inning, Russell gives this ball a ride to center, but Kevin Kiermaier straight up robs him with that spectacular catch. So we head to the bottom of the 9th, 2-1 game. Wade Davis slams the door, striking out the side. The Cubs win, and Joe Madden's return to Tampa 2-1. The magic number now 9. Davis 32 saves converted.
Domingo Santana and the Brew Crew in Pittsburgh to take on the Bucks. 4th inning, no score. Santana at bat, and the Brewers right fielder drives a shot down the left field line, and it is gone. Santana's 26th homer of the year puts the Brewers up 1-0. 9th inning, Brewers closer Corey Knebel in to finish out the Pirates. Knebel gets Jordy Mercer to strike out swinging. Brewers blank the Pirates, win by a final of 1-0. So that win brought the Cubs' magic number, as we said, to clinch. It is down to just 9.
Let's check in on the Cardinals in Cincinnati. The former Cub, Dexter Fowler, coming up big in the 8th. He's had a big few days. Fowler delivers his 17th home run of the season. That ties the game at 6. 10th inning now. It's Fowler again, this time ripping one down the right field line. That brings around Colton Wong. St. Louis takes the lead. They'd add on another and hang on in extras, an 8-7 final. So here is an updated look at the Central standings. Everything stays the same. The Cubs a 3.5 game over the Brewers. And then the Cardinals are 6 back in 3rd place.
All right, so as we mentioned at the top of the show, Jake Arrieta will return Thursday against the Brewers. Don't look now, but the Cubs are starting to get healthy exactly at the right time.
So we asked the question, which Cub will have the biggest impact on the pennant run?
We had this conversation not that long ago about Jake Arrieta, too.
Yeah, we did. So our 3 choices for discussion were Wilson Contreras, Addison Russell, or Jake Arrieta. And you can make the argument for all 3. Arrieta is big because, as we discussed earlier, there's a chance, and Joe Madden mentioned it as well as our insider Patrick Mooney, that Arrieta could be being put into place to be the Game 1 starter against the Nationals in that potential playoff series.
My only rebuttal to this is the Cubs went on a, how many game win streak? And
7.
They did it with us. It's out 7 now.
Right.
It was 6, 7 today, and they didn't need him. I mean, he hasn't been starting. So it's possible that they can get by without him, right or no?
It's possible, but at the same time, if you're talking about facing a Nationals team that is so good offensively, you want Arrieta on the mound for at least one of those. Now, as far as Contreras is concerned, this is a guy who's been hitting really well since he's come back from the disabled list.
Right.
In fact, before today, in 5 games since his return, he was batting .444 with a 1,111 OPS. He had another hit today. He was 1 for 4 in Tampa. So Contreras makes a difference both offensively and then also with pitchers as well.
See, Contreras gets my vote because I think they need him behind the plate in the playoffs. And so that I think they can get by maybe without Jake Arrieta. I think it'll be tough in the playoffs, but I think they really do need Contreras behind the plate no matter what.
So the next option is Addison Russell in our discussion. And the interesting thing about Russell is they've gone a month and a half without him previously. And then he comes back and does it in a big way, being productive offensively immediately. But the way we want to see Russell, of course, is in the infield.
Sure.
But then you've got him versus Baez.
No,
so who
that's
would you
the
rather
thing.
see as shortstop?
But my thing is I'd rather have Baez. I'd rather have Baez's defense personally. Now the thing is, okay, like you just said, they didn't really miss Addison Russell that much. So I don't think it's necessarily, I think he is the last guy on that list. I think it goes Wilson Contreras, Jake Arrieta, and then Addison Russell.
But when you're talking about a playoff run, Addison Russell always hits well with 2 outs. He had that history of doing it last year, had a great run.
Right.
That's a margin that can make a difference in the playoffs. Jake Arrieta facing a hot-hitting team, that's a margin that can make a difference in the playoffs. And Wilson Contreras catching a runner stealing in a 1-0 game is also a margin that could give you a playoff win.
Fair enough.
Just saying. So the Cubs could clinch this weekend in Milwaukee. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup for the pivotal 4-game series. It is Jake Arrieta against 17-game winner Zach Davies in Game 1. Yeah, 17. Friday, it's John Lackey against Brandon Woodruff. Kyle Hendricks takes the hill in Game 2 against Brent Suter. And Jose Quintana goes in the series finale on Sunday against Chase Anderson. 2 double-digit game winners there. That's something.
Yeah, it is something. It's gonna be a tough series.
So to the American League, with the White Sox in Houston facing an Astros team and already won the AL West, this game was more about seeing the progress of Lucas Giolito, who was on the mound at Minute Maid Park.
Okay, yeah, and the young righty, he really seems to have made the seamless transition from Charlotte to the big leagues. In his last 4 starts, Giolito has allowed just 1 run or less in 3 of those outings. So Giolito got his night off on the right foot. Top of the first, he strikes out George Springer swinging. Nice start for Lucas. Top 3, with 2 outs, Yoan Moncada with one of his 3 hits on the night. Then he promptly steals second, his 3rd stolen base of the season. Kid can run. Jose Abreu follows that up with a shot to left. Moncada becomes the 98th RBI for Abreu on the season. 1-0 Sox. Bottom 4. If someone is going to hit you hard, it's probably going to be Jose Altuve. The league's leading hitter deposits one in the right field seats. His 24th, we're tied at 1. Later in the inning, Alex Bregman hits one into the gap and left. That brings home a runner from first. Astros take a 2-1 lead. Bottom 6, runner on second. 2 outs. Giolito gets Marwin Gonzalez swinging. He strikes out 3 on the night over 6 2/3, only giving up 2 runs. But it was the Astros who would come out victorious tonight. They win it 3-1. So Abreu picked up his 98th RBI tonight, and he can join Joe DiMaggio and Albert Pujols as the only players in MLB history with 25-plus homers and 100-plus RBI in each of their first 4 seasons.
You gotta be taping me!
Check out the championship series in the Independent League. The Wichita Wingnuts celebrated winning. Yeah, except that was ruled a balk, and the catcher was the only wingnut who knew it. So the game goes into extras, and Wichita loses to Winnipeg in the 17th inning. Talk about a heartbreaker. The decisive Game 5 was supposed to be tonight. It got rained out.
Oh, those poor Wingnuts.
Come on, a balk? They could have walked it off, but no.
Oh,
could have walked off right there.
All right, still to come, Nick Schmaltz and the Hawks really took it to Columbus's crew tonight. Highlights from the preseason opener on the way. Plus, what does Doug Collins' return mean for the Bulls? And was Will Perdue the reason he was fired the first time?
Will Perdue.
Our Bulls post-game live crew touches on those topics. Plus, John Paxson opens up about Dwayne Wade's future with the team. It's all on In the Loop Prime when we return.
In the Loop on CSN is presented to you by GMC. We are professional grade. How do you show up? Do you just bring it? Or do you bring it all?
Focus.
3rd row like a pro. Get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 GMC Acadia SLE1 for around $289 per month. Plus, current GMC lessees can get $3,000 additional lease cash. We are professional grade. GMC.
This is more than a bundle. This is more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home court. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. It's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
I expect our players to play the game with energy, focus, and pride. Pride to me is commitment to the team. Pride is a commitment to the White Sox. I want my players to go out there and give them your heart. I want them to wear their hearts on their sleeve. I want them to be fearless, but not reckless. I want them to go out there, know what they're doing, and push the envelope. I want them to let everybody know that we're never giving in.
4 Seasons, how can we help you?
It's the furnace! The old pile of scraps burning through my savings. Hurry!
Remain calm, we're on our way.
24-hour repair and same-day installation. 4 Seasons can replace your furnace for as little as $17.95. Furnace and AC combos from $36.95. And take advantage of 0% interest financing for 5 years.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
The last time the White Sox faced the Astros, they broke out the brooms. Watch as the Sox go for the sweep again. Game coverage begins tomorrow at 7 on CSN. Or stream live at csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports app.
Subscribe to the Cubs Talk podcast on iTunes or the Google Play Store today.
The Blackhawks opening the preseason in Columbus without their top-line guys. They're getting a good look at Cody Franzen, the former Predator, trying to get a roster spot in Chicago on the power play. Gets the one-timer to go. 1-0 Hawks. Franzen added an assist later on.
Well then.
Vinny Hinostroza, good game on both ends of the ice. Dives here to force the puck out of the zone on the penalty kill. Anton Forsberg trying to win the backup goalie spot, and he looked good. 38 saves on the night, including 12 on the penalty kill. Nick Schmaltz could be centering Patrick Kane's line this season. He splits a couple defenders. Goes stick side for the goal. It's 4-0 Blackhawks. Back to Vinny Hinostroza. Good stick work to get the puck back. He lights the lamp. The Hawks score 4 times in the second period. They beat the Blue Jackets 5-2 in the preseason opener.
He's got more speed to his game. Looks like he's stronger in the puck area, wants the puck, has the puck more. And deception with his speed and his evasiveness and laterally moving can back people off, and play recognition's high end as well. And the shot looks like it's got some more pace to it too. So great start for him and another good game.
The countdown to opening night is on. We are just 16 days away from the Hawks dropping the puck against the defending champs at the United Center. We'll have all the opening night festivities right here on CSN.
It is time for Lexus must-see video. Experience amazing. If you like gravy, this is amazing. The Washington Capitals are setting the bar high in fan giveaways. Who needs player bobbleheads when you have a Zamboni gravy boat? How does this even work?
I don't know, but it's amazing. And it should be on the Thanksgiving table of every American family.
Every American family.
I will match my wits with anybody in terms of young people, in terms of what's going on now, what's happening. And so I am woke.
So, in a move that surprised most of Chicago this morning, outside of that quote, the Bulls announced they were bringing back former coach Doug Collins to the organization.
Yeah, the Bulls had a press conference to introduce the new member of the front office, and while his role hasn't really completely been defined, he will report directly to John Paxson.
The first thing that must be known is under no circumstances am I going to coach here, and so that should not even be a question. And I know there's still going to be people go, yeah, sure, coach. You know, how many times did this guy retire and come back and all that kind of stuff? So I get that. I'm not here to be a decision maker. I want to provoke thought. I want to be someone. My mind is very active. Anybody who's ever been around me, I think all the time. I think what's going to end up happening is, as I sit around here and observe and watch, more and more there'll be, that Fred and I will talk about a lot of different things, but it's going to be when he feels like that he needs to come up and talk to me or whatever, I'll be there for him every step of the way. I'm not going to be one seeking him out and doing that kind. He's the coach of this team, and it's going to be a very interesting team. It's going to be very young and a team that's rebuilding. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. I hope I can be someone that will be a voice for him, who's been in this business for a lot of time, for a lot of years.
I want more Doug Collins quotes for the rest of the season. He coached the Bulls for 3 years, his best one coming during the 1987-88 year when the team won 50 games, but lost in the Eastern Conference semifinals to the Pistons. For more on Collins' return to the West Side, we send it to who else? Our Bulls postgame live crew, Mark Shanowski, Kendall Gill, and Will Perdue.
Doug Collins is coming back. He coached the Bulls from 1986 to 89. Now he's coming back as a senior advisor of basketball operations. How much of an impact can Doug have on this rebuild, guys?
I think it could be huge because he's wealth of knowledge. He's been a coach. He's been a player. We all know he's passionate. And one of the things I remember I talked to Doc Rivers about when Doc Rivers became the head coach of the Orlando Magic. He gets fired, and then he goes to TV and talks about how great TV is. And you've already talked about why is he leaving the TV gig? Right. Because once these guys become coaches, Doug feels it. Doc said it. They always feel like they can make a difference. They feel like they can help. And that's why I think Doug has come back. And I think he can help. The question is, how big of a voice will he be?
Could he help them in free agency? Because people have watched him on TNT and ESPN. He has a lot of credibility.
He has a lot of credibility. When you, as a free agent, when you walk in that room and you see Doug Collins there, you've watched him practically all your adult life on television, and you know that he has had major success in the NBA. And then when he says, listen, we want you as part of our program, I think that is a great selling point. Also, I think that Doug is going to try to do what Jerry West did in Memphis, what Jerry West did with the Golden State Warriors. He's going to have that input. Three brains are better than two. And as far as the Chicago fans are concerned, they're not really too happy with the way that they're going.
They'll gladly bring on the third brain.
Yeah, they want to bring on the third guy. So, and listen, I love Gar, I love Pax, but hey, adding Doug Collins to the team, I think, is a plus.
And the biggest thing was the statement that Jerry Reinsdorf put out, in my opinion. It said, it's worked well with other teams. We think it'll work well with us. To me, that's sending a message that they're being very flexible on how they're handling this thing, and they're willing to take outside input.
Before we get out of here, I remember back in 1988-89, there was a raw rookie out of Vanderbilt named Will Perdue, coached by Doug Collins, jumping all over the court with the perm and everything. What's your favorite story about playing for Doug Collins that one season?
Just how emotional he was. And I personally feel kind of bad. I mean, Doug and I have talked about it, but there was all these rumors that, well, you didn't play the first draft pick, so you got fired. But they also forget that they traded for Bill Cartwright, and Dave Corzine was still there, proven veterans.
Right.
And you talked about Thibodeau, talked about other guys. I mean, it was hard for me to crack that rotation.
Yeah, and then veteran coaches don't really like playing rookies.
And so, but again, he's very passionate. I used to love how after games he'd take his jacket off to talk to us post-game. Right. He'd be drenched in sweat. But that's where I think when the players see how invested he is, I think that's only going to be a positive, especially for such a young team.
Well, we've seen him at Northwestern games drenched in sweat, watching Chris Collins and the Wildcats go to work. I think even as a senior advisor, he'll be drenched in sweat watching the Bulls. It all starts next Monday with Media Day. We'll have live coverage from the Advocate Center here on CSN.
Good stuff, guys. We're looking forward to it. And where will Dwayne Wade play next season? With the Bulls in full-blown retooling mode, we still don't know. He's the primary face of the franchise heading into next season. The team could still potentially buy out D-Wade's 2-year, $47 million contract, of which about $24 million is due this upcoming season. So in an exclusive interview with CSN, Mark Shanowski addressed the rumors with Bulls president John Paxson.
We can't do anything about it, and be very honest, Gar and I sat down with Dwayne when the season ended. We were honest with him. We told him that, we don't know what's going to happen. We weren't, at that time, we were not shopping Jimmy, but we also said that if a deal would come along that allowed us to rebuild, that we'd have to look at it. We've said that to everybody. So, but with that said, Dwayne's under contract. He has been a professional through and through. We want to talk to him when he comes in town, and we will. Until then, I read the same things you do. So, Gar and I will sit down with Dwayne when he comes to town.
D-Wade is just one of many Chicago athletes who return home to play with their hometown teams. Coming up, we will look at a few others who had mixed results. Find out who made the list.
In the Loop on CSN is presented by State Farm. Here to help life go right.
I don't own the apartment building, but the right out front is mine. And everything inside, like my office, and my library, my studio. I worked hard to get all of it. And I just
want to be sure it's all protected with auto and renter's insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Do you have too many bills but not enough money? Would you like one lower payment for all debt, little or no money down? I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Our Chapter 13 plans stop collections and creditors in one day for as low as $95 every 2 weeks. Get rid of bill collectors and high car payments. Get one lower payment today. Call or click now.
When you need to be debt-free, call 1-800-CALL-PFG. That's 1-800-CALL-PFG.
Saturday. The Hawks and Blue Jackets face off again, this time from the United Center. Catch all of your favorites as they prepare for the regular season. Coverage starts at 7:30 on CSN, or stream the game live at csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports app.
Your fortune is in another cookie, but a great deal on a new Honda is at Schaumburg Honda Automobiles.
Lease a brand new Honda Accord sedan for only $179 a month, or a brand new Honda Civic sedan for just $159 a month.
Be sure to see us before you buy.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman, Schaumburg Honda Automobiles, just 8 blocks west of Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road in Schaumburg.
Sports Talk Live, presented by Chevy Silverado. Weeknights at 6 on CSN.
Come to Fat Board tomorrow and tell us why you are the biggest fan of your favorite team for a chance to win Bulls and Blackhawks tickets. You could be a Cubs fan, Sox fan, Bears fan, Blackhawks fan, Bulls fan. It doesn't matter. We want to see you out there.
I guess I'll be there. Sorry, work, not going.
Both Joe Madden and Doug Collins with a homecoming today, and that's the topic of tonight's list, Hometown Heroes.
With just a 1.7% chance of leading the top overall pick in 2008, the Bulls won the lottery and drafted Derrick Rose. The former Simeon star went on to win Rookie of the Year, and 2 years later, at 22 years old, he became the league's youngest MVP.
During the 2016 NBA offseason, Dwayne Wade shocked the rest of Miami when he left the Miami Heat. He agreed to a 2-year contract with the Bulls, but you know, things didn't really go as planned for the former Richard star. Bulls limping through the season, you know, eliminated, all that good stuff.
You didn't even want to talk about it.
No, I don't.
In 1990, the Blackhawks traded fan favorite Denny Savard to the Montreal Canadiens for former Mount Carmel star Chris Chelios. He won 2 Norris trophies in the Blackhawks sweater and helped lead the team to the Stanley Cup final in 1992, where they were swept by the Penguins.
After bouncing around with 13 different minor league teams, it was a fairy tale ending for Lamont native Scott Darling when the Blackhawks finally gave him his shot in the NHL. During the 2015 playoffs, Darling took over for Corey Crawford and was the steady between the pipes guy helping the Hawks advance, and they later won their 3rd Stanley Cup in 6 years.
Eureka native Ben Zobrist signed with the Cubs in the winter of 2015 because of his relationship with Joe Madden, and he wanted to be closer to home. In his first season with the team, all he did was get the game-winning hit that helped break the 108-year drought as the team won the first World Series in over a century. Zobrist was also just World Series MVP, no big deal.
Time now for our parting shot. It looks like Charles Peanut Tillman is not staying retired for long. The former Bear is training to become an FBI agent.
Yes!
Tillman earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Louisiana Lafayette before he was drafted by the Bears. Cool stuff.
It is awesome. Brings new meaning to the term Raging Cajun.
Well, thank you for watching In the Loop Prime, presented by State Farm.
This is more than a bundle. This is more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home court. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
How do you show up? Do you just bring it? Or do you bring it all?
Lucas.
3rd row like a pro. Get this low mileage lease on this 2017 GMC Acadia SLE1 for around $289 per month. Plus, current GMC lessees can get $3,000 additional lease cash. We are professional grade. GMC.
If you or a loved one had hip replacement surgery using a metal-on-metal hip implant, you may be entitled to a cash award. Many metal-on-metal hip implants will eventually cause health problems, such as metallosis, loosening of parts, pain, and difficulty walking. Billions of dollars have been set aside to pay people for these injuries. If you or a loved one had a metal-on-metal hip implant and suffered serious side effects, time is running out to file a claim. Call 800-297-2818. That's 800-297-2818.